Alright guys, it's your girl Dri, reporting here live, strictly business news. I'm doing a close-up. We're about to start. Gus is right here trying to coordinate everything. We're at the Pine Loft, our exclusive venue. I just knocked out a whole bunch of interviews. It's gonna be lit. He's gonna have back behind the scenes footage, and it's a wrap. I like to switch it up because I can speak multiple language. You already know who it is. It's your girl, at the Fab Life of Dri here. I'm back here with a special guest. It is a strictly business event. We are at Buttermoves. We are on location at the Pine Loft. Please introduce yourself.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Shump on the beat. Producer Yank Riddim. Connecticut song. Yeah. What's up? How you doing, Dri?
All right, I'm doing okay. I can't complain. God is good. I'm alive. I'm breathing. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? So I want to first off congratulate you on your success. You definitely have the song of the summer. It's giving me like that Playboy Cardi Magnolia vibe when everyone was Millie rocking, and that when Bobby Shmurda had his ride out before, you know, he got locked up. Free Bobby Shmurda. He's coming out soon, I hear. That's good news. So how does that feel? How does that momentum feel? And what was it like working with Snowprah?
It's honestly been an overwhelming feeling. Ever since, like, bringing all the tangibles together with everything, considering the movement and then the dance, that was a strong part of reason why the song like blew up and everything. And Snow doing her part. I mean, honestly, I can't write this in a book. You know what I mean? I didn't see this popping, getting to this point. Snow didn't see this popping, getting to this point. If you told us that in May, that this is gonna be where it's at,
right?
We told you probably full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we couldn't really, you know, see it popping up how it was. You know what I'm saying? Especially with that being like Snow's first song ever.
Wow!
Ever.
Wait, hold on.
Like,
that's an exclusive, guys.
Yeah.
That is her first song ever. Congratulations to you, Queen. Island Records, proud.
So that was her first song she ever put out. So she was starting. She started to record like music. I want to say probably like March sometime, and then she reached out to me and just said, "Hey, like, bro, I got the beat that you wanted me to dance to. I like it a lot. You know, would it be okay if I rapped on it?"
Wow.
Snow being a homie. Cool. You know
behind the scenes, we talked about that breakdown and that beat. Please, for the hip hop nerds like me, talk about that sample that you used. I believe it was a Busta Rhymes song. Talk about how you chose that. And why I feel like that was an essential part of the beat, and talk about your layering techniques, because I visited Chill Slump Studios, and just to see how he worked and how he used his system and sonically, I can't even really explain it. I'm trying to find the right terminology, but all I can say is this man is talented, and I can tell he practices his craft. So talk about that process of building that beat.
Well, you got it right the first time. Chill Shump. That's all good. It's all good, baby. Pretty much, I used two samples. So I used Velas, which was the Flip Mode song with him and Fabulous Chris Brown. And the other sample that drew everybody in was Busta Rhymes, Hands My. That was like the one that just snatched. It just drove everybody in. Pretty much how the process came when I was making that beat. I had the Velas sample in my head all day. You know what I mean? So when I came home, I'm just, you know, I came to lock into the studio, and I'm just thinking, just at the time when I made that beat, that was probably like maybe a week and a half after Zoe passed away.
Wow,
so,
rest in peace.
As soon as I was in the studio, I was just thinking like, yo, do the vibe, do his vibe, you know what I'm saying? So I just started rocking that vibe, and I felt like there's something missing. So I just kept thinking, the song's called Flip Mode. So I kept thinking, flip mode, Busta, flip mode, Hands My Eyes to See. And then I just like, yo, that would work perfect. So once I blend that in, I was like, I knew I was like, oh, this is different. So just instantly at that point, it was just gonna keep going.
It was like a fusion. I like that story because it was organic the way the beat came together.
Yes.
It was kind of just like you were having a vibe. You caught. I feel like God probably put that vision, or
definitely.
And you just followed your instincts, which was amazing.
Yes.
recently you worked with Mike Flowz. He just released his project. Talk about his artistic value and his work ethic, because I see the passion and dedication he puts into his craft.
Yeah.
I can tell that he's like on the verge of being a CT artist that's gonna blow up. Talk about your artistic, I'm trying to think of the right word. Yes.
Well, me and Flowz have been working with each other for possibly the past 6 years now, like hand in hand.
And you know, it's like magic when you guys are together.
Absolutely.
It's like that combination.
Absolutely. He's a good friend of mine. I consider like we became brothers through music. So, he's honestly, personally, if you ask me personally, there isn't anybody more musically versatile. You know what I mean? He can do it all. He can rap hard. He want to get aggressive. He can get aggressive. He wants to sing. He can sing. He wants to make such ladies. He can make such ladies. You know what I mean? Like, it's all around with that man. So, you know, I consider him as a big part of being a man who I am today, because working hand in hand with him has grown my various sound, my various style of music. You know what I mean? I could make any type of style of hip hop just because he wanted me to make it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of really how it started.
So what you're saying is your relationship together helped you level up on your craft and reach a new potential, a new height in your craft. Wow, I love that story about versatility and just like him kind of giving you tasks and you just like crushing them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so recently during Summer Jam, there was a Timbaland and Swizz beat battle.
Right.
So who would you choose out of them two to be your mentor? If you had a choice between Timbaland and Swizz Beatz, and who do you think had like the best hip hop history or legacy in terms of their production?
Well, I want to say on the international level, it's Timbaland. He just was more infused with the industry, getting with a lot more artists and whatnot. Swizz, on the other hand, is a god when it comes to hits.
Right.
Like, hands down. If I was to ask for anybody to be my mentor coming into the industry, it'd be Swizz.
I love that. All right, so on that note, who are your top 5 producers of all time?
Top 5 producers of all time. Y'all always throw me on the spot with this one, man. It's kind of hard. Like, it switches up like every 2 weeks.
So tell me what's currently your top 5.
Well, I like Southside from 808 Mafia. I like, obviously, Swizz is like literally, he's an idol, so he's one of the very top. I'm a huge fan of rap music. And to be honest, vinyls and foreign type.
Okay.
Those are like, but I'm telling you, if you ask me the same question again, like 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be different. It's
gonna switch up. How does having a background in instrumentation differentiate you from other producers or other music makers?
Well, personally, I've always been drawn into music. And this is like literally for me being a kid, being in church.
Shout out St. James, we both went to the same church, guys.
That's a fact.
How crazy is that?
That's a fact.
How crazy is that?
So going from that into playing drums, like marching stuff or drill team and whatnot, like it's just, music's always been a knack for me. I started making beats when I was like 15.
Wow.
And I was like randomly stumbling across.
Did you use Fruit Loops? Or?
Yes.
Of course.
I'm probably gonna die with like that program, like in my casket. I swear to you.
Right next to it.
Right next to it. So
that's hilarious.
With having that musical background and just, you know, being, it gives me the force and the drive to be creative. You know what I mean? So it sets me at the standard. Like, I hate being lazy when it comes to music. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is just, it's like it's disrespectful to your craft. You know
I was actually at a studio session and I noticed he was using the sample guides, or it was like a synthesizer sound or something, and he turned it down and it just flowed on the beat so smoothly. And I get what you mean by you're perfectionist, similar to like kind of like Kanye or J. Cole. They kind of like are meticulous about a synthesizer being too loud or this vocal in the background not being too, or sample not being too long or too short, not sampling the right part of the song. So
like everything, I feel like as far as producing, everything is coming down to nitpicking in a sense, only because it's your baby. You know what I'm saying? So this could be a hit or this could be shit. So however you want to do it, you know what I mean? But if you critique it and just put your long hours into it, then it can come out something beautiful.
So he mentioned something important about hard work and long hours, kids at home. Don't think that I just got in this position by not doing anything. I have been practicing for over a year and a half now on my craft, and just like him, he's practicing his craft. So I want to know, what's some advice to young children that maybe want to be in your position one day? What would you tell them to about the business related to the music industry and about receiving the right amount of publishing and royalties and how to navigate that world? Because it's not always glamorous and pretty. It gets shysty. People betray you, backstab, all that. People get envious. So talk about how important it is to the youth out there.
Well, for one, to even get into that position as far as the industry, I could say, I won't say it's a shot in the million, because it's really not. It's really gonna come down to how much you put in the work into the studio to make your craft wanted by the industry. But
so creating that supply,
right?
Or so creating that supply so there's a demand.
Exactly. So getting to that point, or when you do get to that point, it's the smartest thing in the world to do is to have a lawyer. You have to have an entertainment lawyer, a producer lawyer, however you want to call it. It's needed, because if you go into this kind of like without a lawyer or attorney, it's like literally walking into the dark blindly. They can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want with you.
That's
they can finesse you however they want, and you know you're gonna be stuck in a bad position. But I thrived, and I put hella passion into just doing what I have to do in the studio. That's why I've been able to get to the point where I have. Again, I'm making beats for the past 12 years.
Wow.
12 years. You know what I mean? Starting as a hobby, and then, eventually got to a point it got serious, and then it got to this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm at a point now where it's just like I'm taking everything and I'm soaking everything in as learning experiences, going around, learning new things, getting involved in a lot of new things. And I'll be honest with you, this is literally, I'm considering this as a chapter in my life. Every chapter closes.
That's like me. I say I'm in a crazy chapter right now, so I get what you mean, because my book is going to be crazy in the future. I think that you'll have a story to tell too.
Absolutely.
That's the name of this podcast. Everyone has a story to tell, clearly.
Absolutely.
So is this a happy chapter?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a learning experience. This is a successful chapter of mine. Everything's going how it's not going how I imagined it, because I didn't see it getting to this point. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm actually here, I'm just trying to think about it home. So, with that being said, once this chapter is closed, I want to get more involved into the music. So, more or less in the business side, A&R, recruiting for industries, that type of thing. That's like, I feel like I have an ear to that.
I can see it. Just by how technical you are, how much you pay attention to detail, I can definitely tell that you would be someone valuable in the industry that can help bring in the new generation of hip-hop, or the artists that we look up to in the future as legends. You know what I mean? I want to go into something you said previously about having a petition in a board for... it was something along the lines of...
For clearing samples.
Right, for clearing samples. I want to know how I signed up, and have you made any progress with that?
I have made zero progress with that right now. Zero progress. But it's okay. You know why?
It's okay.
I'm waiting to get my feet wet how I want to get it wet. And once I finally do, then I'll open that up. Because I feel like artists have too many issues with getting samples cleared and whatnot. And then it gets to a point where after you pay them $2,000, $3,000, it could be $10,000, it could be $20,000 fee just to clear a sample.
Wow.
Then they'll tell you, well, we want 80% of the profit.
80%?
80%. They can do that. They can do that. Trust me. It's like, it goes like when you go through that round of getting samples cleared, the ball's officially in their court. You know what I mean? So you can literally, they can work you how they want to work. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me ask you something. Is touring and merchandising from, I guess, using the sample, do they get a cut of that as well? Or is it just based off the streaming or?
That I'm not too sure. I mean, that's something I would definitely look into. But I know as far as like sampling in general, any type of streams, royalties, radio play, all that stuff accumulates into the percentage for whoever you sample. So this is hypothetical, all right? Let's not get to conclusions, right? Now let's just say bust the sample I used, right? They just said they wanted 50% of my profit. Let's just say that.
Right.
Hypothetical, all right? Don't
hypothetical, guys.
Every radio spinning it gets, every spinning hits on iTunes, every playlist it hits on Spotify, from any type of like mechanical royalties to YouTube plays to you name it. As long as if there's a platform where it's getting spin, they want a cut. So if it's, let's put it like this, if my song makes $1 every time it's done, they're gonna want 50 cents.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's the behind the scenes stuff that you'll never hear about. This is exclusive content, guys. You don't always get to know exactly what the logistics are behind the music, like how VH1 used to do those documentaries or the True Hollywood stories. These are the stories that give you, I guess, the tea of it all. I hate to be so generic, but it is tea. So I want you to talk about hip-hop activism, and do you feel like you're a hip-hop activist? Because hearing you speak out, I feel like you can educate the youth and tell them certain things, or they could look up to you like as a mentor. Would you consider doing that for the youth?
Like, I feel like if I had the knowledge to help somebody, help bring somebody up, can I use it? You know what I mean? Like, just holding that type of stuff in itself is, so any way I can help people coming up, I think is what I'm doing now. Like, I've been, within the past year, I've been branching out to more artists, and one of the artists I still thank to this day, rest in peace to Zoe. You know what I mean? He last year, that was one of the artists I just instantly just said, yo, I'm start working on it. I've been fortunate enough, blessed, and playing a part into his legacy. So some of his biggest songs, like Work Part 2, Make Money Downtown, I still get hit up by that across the, like literally across the world. Because people people don't realize how strong and or how powerful an impact Zoe had on a lot of lives.
Right.
So he played a huge part into growing that. You know what I'm saying? I met Snow through Zoe.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And us, building that connection up. At that time, Snow was a dancer, and I gave the flip mode, Yank Riddim, I gave that beat initially to her, and I was just like, yo, you want to dance to it? Go ahead, rock out. And she did like so. And she hit me up like months later, April, so she wanted to rap, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's history, guys. I have kind of a tongue twister. I'm going to read from my notes here. So I personally feel like producers are kind of like the composers to my life, or they provide the soundtrack to my life. So how important is it to collaborate with people you know will essentially give your beat life while maintaining the integrity of your craft?
I don't go by that. I pretty much go by who I had the right vibes with, you know. That's why, like, I am not against working with anybody. If I feel like they got the right sound, that's what I'm gonna draw into. You know what I mean? I think Zoe is kind of living proof of that, because he was so colorful with his music. You know what I mean? Like, literally, like, just wow, entertainment, like entertainful and everything else.
Just
like,
raw energy.
Yes.
That's exactly what hip hop was. Just kids trying to release, I guess, everything that was going on in their neighborhood, in their communities. So they started going to parks in New York and started having these parties and linking up. So I get what you mean. That's the essence of hip hop. That's exactly what he is. And rest in peace to Zoe, and more praise to your family, because he's missed. I mean, I see it all through my timeline every day. I feel like you're going to be a part of keeping his legacy alive and keeping his name out there and always putting on for him. So, I mean, you're gone, but you're never forgotten. Think about Pop. His past mortem sometimes is more beneficial to an artist than while they're alive. Sometimes they're not even appreciating it at times. So, moving forward, I want to talk a little bit more about fatherhood with you, because I met one of his sweet, innocent little angels. He's a great father, I could tell, just because his daughter wouldn't stop coming and see daddy. She wanted to see him work. So I know you're raising young children, so what kind of legacy are you trying to leave them?
Well, the main legacy that I want to raise through them is hard work. You know what I mean? Just work ethic is huge. You know what I mean? Whatever they want to grow up and be, if they say, yo, daddy, I want to be a producer, daddy, I want to be a rapper, daddy, I want to be a firefighter, daddy, I just want to be a doctor or a cop or whatever, like, I'm behind it 100%. But if this is what you want to do, this is what your effort is going to do. The effort has to be better than everybody else.
Right, they can't just
early
give
bird
what they
gets the
want.
worm, you know
Exactly.
what I mean? That type of mentality, that's just kind of what I've always been. So, I have 2 kids. I have 2 kids in the bone shop, you know what I mean? So it's like my 3-year-old daughter, my 1-year-old daughter, and then my 9-year-old, my soon-to-be 9-year-old son.
Oh,
soon-to-be 9-year-old
so
son.
sweet.
He's growing, like, the little chill shop on the beat, that's him.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Keeping it all in the family.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
definitely, we at Strictly Business believe in that. We keep it all in the family. It's a family thing.
Yes.
I want to go into maybe a tough question for you. Which artists so far have you had the best chemistry with?
Best chemistry with? I think it is Mike. I truly believe it's Mike. Like, I could legitimately get in the studio with Mike and we just says, yo, Shump, I'm digging this sample. You think you got something for that? All right, cool. I start working on it.
Wow.
Thing about the Mike's chemistry, though, it's crazy. Like,
kind of like that Zaytoven and Gucci type of vibe.
With
like,
Mike's process, it's so freaking fast, it's scary. Like, the first time me and Mike ever worked with each other, it was like in late 2012 sometime. And I picked him up from Bloomfield, came to my studio, I just instantly got to work. I made this beat in like 45 minutes. That's at that point, like, that's kind of particularly fast for me. He was like, all right, cool, just do what you do, you know, I'm just gonna sit here and grab my phone and start writing verses. I was done with it. So at that point, I was used to artists like, yo, let me holler at you tomorrow, let me holler at you another time, blah, 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 I'm gonna come through. I had everything written down at that point, and it worked. I'm like, all right. So I was just like, yo, you feel me? So whenever you're done, you just holler at me. You feel me? And, you know, just get it done. He's like, I'm done. I'm like, what, you just got a verse or something? He's like, nah, like the whole song. I'm like, so at first, I ain't gonna front, I thought he was bullshit.
When he
like,
said
bullshit
that,
the whole thing.
I was gonna say, did he mean just like a verse? Did he have the hook and everything?
Yeah, I thought he bullshitted everything.
Wow.
And then I was just like, yo, you got the Pro Tools, right? He's like, yeah, yo, put it up. I'm ready. I'm like, and it took no longer than an hour. It was a full song. It was dope. It was our first song, and I like at that point, like I knew he was different. You know what I'm saying? I knew he was really different. So I just kept the vibe going with that, and man, it's just he's a special individual, man. I can't wait until it's like our time to start unraveling like Flowz. I'm telling you.
That kind of reminds me of like past stories or past interviews I've seen with like Jay-Z or people when they talk about Wayne and how they just go in the booth and don't even write and it's just like magic. You kind of have that story, so I can only imagine how far he's gonna go in his career and what he'll be like in the next year or so. So we're gonna do like hip hop current events, and then we'll do you'll be the judge today of these classic beats, and you'll be deciding which one is better.
Okay.
All right, so first I want to talk about the revamp of Scott Storch. I'm not sure if you noticed, but he's gotten sober. He has a new documentary out.
Yep.
I've been doing my research, and I didn't realize that Scott Storch was kind of instrumental for my iPod playlist the whole time growing up. He had versatility, so I want to hear your opinion about that and how you'll protect your finances so you don't end up spending $100 million and blowing money on yachts and cars. Yeah.
Invest. I have. Like, that's one of my main goals when I've reached that point where I have enough money or that financially. Like, I want to invest, whether it's into any type of business, restaurants, studios, whatever it is. Like, I want to start investing into, you know, certain things where at the point where, I could be my own brand. Like, honestly, like, real talk, like, I have mentors, of course, like, music-wise, and who I believe, like, who I like sonically, but on a business skill, my mentor is Dame Dash.
I love that.
I love, like I soak up all his
Shout
interviews.
out to Dame Dash. I love you so much.
Everything. Like, Dame Dash was, if you ask me, probably one of the greatest business minds hip hop's ever seen.
People just weren't ready for him. I feel like they weren't ready for his strength.
Yeah.
They always want.
He was aggressive.
Right.
He was aggressive.
People weren't ready for that energy.
But he got shit done.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we all know how
like,
Dame Dash gets down.
No matter what anybody says, Rockefeller under his belt at that time was one of the, and music history, one of the biggest like labels ever.
Shout out to Big, shout out to Hope, shout out to everybody that did that whole Rockefeller movement back in the day. Shout out to Rough Riders, Murder Inc., all those classic firms. You're part of the reason why we have passion for this today. In January, probably like the first week or so, Bitcoin will be at its lowest. You can buy it at for about $2,800. So if you guys want to invest, save it right now. Save right now so you can invest. Also, cybersecurity is the next wave to invest in. That's just a little gem that I've learned from investing and doing my research. So I just thought that was interesting that you talked about that. That's very essential for our youth today. They don't have financial literacy.
Investing in a little bit of Bitcoin.
He's already ahead of the game, guys. All right, so I want to get into something fun, actually. So I have some classic beats that I like, and I want to know your opinion. So he's going to be our judge. Devil in a New Dress by Kanye or Keep Your Head Up by Tupac?
Keep Your Head Up by Tupac.
Okay, that was an easy one, guys.
I love that.
All right, so the Wu-Tang beat Cream versus New York State of Mind by Nas. Ooh. That's a toughie.
Cash rules everything around me. Yeah, I have to go with that.
Alright, so Junior Mafia Get Money versus Many Men by 50 Cent.
Oh, man. And it's crazy because, like Many Men is like one of my favorite songs.
Everyone loves that song.
50 was so powerful back then. I love Get Money though. That's still, that's timeless. You can throw that in the club right now. And it's still go crazy.
Still man.
Many Men. I'm sick of my guns.
All right, so what's next for you in the near future, and how do you maintain longevity in this business?
Just staying relevant. You know what I mean? Just being still in the mix. That's what I learned. You're not in the mix. You don't know what's going on. It's also a discredit to your craft because that's how you grow.
Right.
The reason I've been able to be where I'm at right now is because I stayed in the mix. I stayed with my head in yo, who's popping right now? People don't think I don't got my nose in the streets.
You have
I'm
to.
on my phone order. Who's popping? Or who's this kid? Who's this kid? You know what I mean? I make sure I always got my foot in there somehow because when it's time, I can just make that call and make it happen. When I make it happen with these kids, we grow, we blossom, we go together, we make bigger things happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I got a fun question. He was obviously in the video. What was that video like? I showed that video to my mom. Now my mom is in love with the Yank Riddim. Yeah. She swears that she's from Hartford now. When she hears it on the radio, she's like, "Oh, Dri, this is my song. You're interviewing that guy, right? Oh my goodness." So talk about that behind the scenes in the music video, because there's so much raw, youthful energy, and I see everyone was just having fun. How was that? How did that come together?
We shot that in New Haven, in the hood.
Wow.
Right in front of, it was literally probably houses down from Snow's crib, and it was Bobby, man. Snow invited all her people. We came out, and then through the full effects, they came through. It was a vibe. You feel me? We sat there, chilled around. It was a fusion in a sense because everybody, before that there was a lot of tension with the whole 203 doing,
right,
dumbing out and all that whatnot. But you feel me? That was more of the solidification that everything was fine.
So that was kind of what do they call those? The peace summits?
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good.
So they came
we like
through.
Peace, guys.
Absolutely. So Full Effect came through. Was doing it for real. And New Haven was looking at it yo,
this is a movement.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And everybody was following suit. Everybody was having a good time, It's on a hood vibe type of thing. It was a good time.
Okay, so my final question. Now, would you do an album like Khaled where you have a whole bunch of features and you do all the beats yourself?
I'm trying to tell all my secrets. What you doing?
People tell me I'm a psychic at times. I can kind of see. I'm like a prophet. I can see into the future.
That's going to be in the works. Just give it some time.
When he does that, I have to get the exclusive. Obviously, it's strictly business. Yeah. I really want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming. This has kind of been We've been crazy going back and forth because he's been busy.
Yeah.
I've been busy, but we finally linked up, and I think this was a great interview. Just give your social medias and where they can find you at.
Everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Shump. Holla at me, man. Thank you guys. Oh yeah,
spell it out, guys.
CHILLSHUMP. Alright, no space. Say Shump. Alright,
and we'll have it on the screen for you guys if you guys do hear that. But as you know, where you can find me at The Fab Life of Dri on Twitter and Instagram. My YouTube page is going to be at Dri Jamese. It's your girl representing for Strictly Business. That's a wrap. All right. Thank you so much.